Hi everyone, hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Today I'm going to be talking about my best friend Mike and how in the 24 years that I knew him, I saw his children and only one of them once. So there's more on the story at the end of what I'm ready to say now about Mike and I's adventures. So let me think. I met Mike in 2002. 2002, right? Is this 6 or 2002? Maybe 2001, because I moved where I'm at in 2001. And anyway, so it became very apparent very early on that there was just something with us. And he's 30 years older than me. He was around when my dad passed in 2005. And he kind of took over that role. He would always tell everybody that I was his adopted daughter. It was cool. So he would try to help me all the time. Just like moving things or whatever, if he knew I needed to move something, he would show up to help me. But every single time he came to help, I got hurt. Like one time, my nails are usually really long, like they're longer than this. But I think it was these two nails, like they were like, I don't know, like this long. And I was trying to move a dresser into the back door at my other house. And Mike, he just happened to be there. And he's like, let me help you, let me help you. And I was like, no, cool, dude, I got it. It was just a little tiny nothing dresser. But no, just as I get it to the top step, here comes Mike lifting up the other end of it and threw me off the stairs sideways with the dresser. Yeah, that was a time. God love him though. Another time in another house, I was moving my brand new couch. I got a call that the ceiling had fallen in at the house. And I came home to look, and I was like, oh crap. Okay, well, yeah, the ceiling was down. It was sitting on the couch. It was sitting on the table. It was all over. We were renting at the time. So anyway, I picked up one end of the couch, and Mike wanted to help me. And I said, look, dude, if you're going to help me, listen to what I'm telling you. Because every time you help me, I get hurt. Okay. So I picked it up and I moved it. And I moved furniture by myself all the time. When I was married, my husband would say, I don't know what the hell house I'm coming home to today, because you're always moving stuff. I do. I get bored and I move stuff. So anyway, I started moving the couch and he again picked it up. I said, okay, we're going to go this way. No, go this way. And I started going my way. I said, no, we got to go like this. And he went the way he thought. 3 nails this time, and I believe it was these 3. The realtor was there because she's the one that had rented us the house. And I was up and down swearing. I go, you don't listen. I know I have boobs. He was very male chauvinistic, right? And I'm like, I know I have boobs and all, but I'm not an idiot, and I'm pretty sure I know how to move stuff. I didn't need you to do what you did. I was pissed. Everybody in the room was like, you're saying you're pissed, but I'd be way more pissed than you are. It was just my way or no way with him. Again, gotta love him. So, that's 2 things about Mike. We used to go hiking all the time. One day I had to go get a bunch of, I didn't have to, I chose to go get a bunch of dental work done, and it was a long day. Long day, long drive. We drove an hour and a half to get to my dentist. On the way back, and I have my little Skechers sandals on. He stops up in Coronado National Forest, and I go, "What are we doing? You want me to hike now? I don't have my hiking boots. I have my sandals on." He didn't care. We went up there. I actually have a video of that. I might show that one day. And it was a blast. We had a blast. We had a place called Essence of Tranquility that's hot tubs, natural hot springs, and love to go there. Sometimes we would just hang out with our friends, and a lot of us would wind up going like in groups of 30 and just stay there for the weekend. And yeah, we had a lot of fun. We did a lot of things. We went back home to San Diego together a few years back. Actually 6 years, no, more like 8 years back. And yeah, we did a lot of neat things, just a lot of neat things. And then one day we went to Essence, and we had gone to this Mexican restaurant that we loved there, and had eaten and came back out and got to a stop sign, and he looked, and I said, "Mike, don't go out right now because the van's coming. There's a van coming." And he goes, "I know, I see it." Next thing I know, he guns it. Had that lady not stopped, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys. That was the first sign I knew something was not correct with Mike. Time goes on. He made me power of attorney, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. He kept saying, "I need you to come to my attorney's office with me." And I'm like, "Why? What do you want with me over there?" So I go over there, and Annette told me what he wanted to do. And I was like, "Mike, but why?" Well, there's nobody to leave anything to, and I want to take care of you. I said, "Mike, I don't want your shit." He said, "What do you want?" I said, I don't want you to die. Can you stay here? Because if you can't, I don't want your shit. I'm telling you, I don't want it. He left everything to me, everything. And I was pissed because I was like, "Dude, I don't want your stuff." Because people already have shit to say, because there's a huge age difference, and people like to feed in shit that doesn't belong there, that just is not so. But to ease their ugly minds, they insert crap that is not even their business, and they just make it up as they go. So anyway, I wound up being his power of attorney, and in the mix, mind you, I'm still seeing there's little weird things up with Mike. And I didn't want to think dementia. I didn't want to think anything like that. Because, this is my best friend, strong as a freaking ox. And this can't be happening. So I start digging into the medical side of it. And I found out that 2 years before he made me power of attorney, he found out he had dementia. Now, I know dementia is all about hydration and magnesium and salts, correct salts. I know what causes dementia. I know what medications cause dementia, and I knew that he was on blood pressure meds and cholesterol meds. Your brain needs cholesterol and fat. That's all your brain is. So we got him off all the meds, but he refused to drink water. It was like the weirdest thing. I was like, "Dude, you just drink the water. You're so dehydrated." I just put a little salts in there, real salts, that are all the minerals that you need. He just wasn't a water drinker. Eventually, I did get him to start drinking water, but by then it was too late in the progress, and he didn't care. He literally told me he didn't care. You know, he said he was ready to go. Okay, cool. But I have to make sure you are as well taken care of and as safe as I can make you. In the meantime, so he was at his house. It got to be so bad that 15 hours a day I was at his house. I hardly saw my house. I don't even know why I came home. But my dog was here at the time, that's why. But anyway, 15 hours a day with him, and it got where he would be screaming at me and just telling me that why the F are you trying to keep me alive, and la la la. And I would say, Mike, I promised you when you asked me to do what you asked me to do that I would keep you as safe and well as I could in your home until I couldn't any longer. Well, time came. I wound up in the hospital, almost lost my kidney. I had a kidney stone that just got lodged. Apparently it had been there for quite a while, and there was several others that apparently they'd been passing, I guess, because it was pain, no pain, pain, no pain for 2 weeks. And I get there, and that's what happened. I wound up in TMC in Tucson in 3 days. And so anyway, I come home, and he fell. Even when I was at the hospital or in the ER at first, I'm on the camera watching him, and they're like, you know, Kim, because I knew the people in the ER, Marcy and Taha, hey, if you guys see this, you know, you're a nurse, you know better. You're in here for yourself, and you're still working, wanting to make sure that he's taken care of. And I said, well, it's because that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm fine. I'm here. You know, I'm good. He fell. I had to call my sons, please go pick him up. Then I get home, he fell again. And I said, Mike, I can't pick you up. I can't do anything for 6 weeks. I can't do anything. I almost lost my kidney, man. You know, I can't jeopardize my own health because you don't want to listen to me. See, he had a walker and a wheelchair, and he refused to use them. His mind was still there, but every once in a while he was slipping, and I mean, I had to get his license pulled and everything because I got called twice and he did not know where he was. But a majority of the time he was sharp as a tack, right? So the time came when I came out of the hospital that I had to find a place for him to go. And Mike only brought in $2,000 a month from military benefits and Social Security. As anybody that's ever dealt with this knows, it costs a hell of a lot more than that to place somebody in a good home. I refuse to place anybody in a nursing center. I wouldn't put anything in a nursing center, let alone a live individual. I found a very nice, privately owned home, somebody's home, that they had turned into I think it was a 6-bed care place in Tucson. Immediately he's calling me, get me out of here. You promised me I could stay in my house. And I said, no, sir. I promised you could stay in your house as long as I could keep you as healthy as possible and as safe as possible. I cannot keep picking you up, Mike. You're getting more and more aggressive at me. He was a big guy, like 6 foot, what was it, Mike, 6'3" or something? Big guy. And so he was yelling at me and blah, blah, blah. And I felt bad. And I told my friend Catherine, who I touched on before as a psychotherapist, I said, man, I just want to bring him home. I just want to bring him home. He doesn't want to be there. And I know his time's coming. I just want to bring him home. She said, Kimmy, you can't bring him home, honey. You can't bring him home. You can't just uproot everything about your life. You can't put your own health on the line, you know, and put yourself in jeopardy not knowing if he's going to come at you one day. I didn't care. I just wanted him home. and we videoed with him on the phone. I would call him all the time, but he was pissy at me because I wasn't going down there. I couldn't drive. I couldn't go down there. I did go down there a few times, but after that, I couldn't. I just couldn't. There was just stuff going on. But I talked to him all the time. Then the phone call came, and it said Mike had passed. I didn't know whether to be upset or to be happy for him that he was finally where he wanted to be. There was a whole bunch more to me and Mike, and way, way more fun times, barbecues, you know. We would do solstice bonfires and drummings, and just so much in so few years. 24 years is not really that long, right? So as I stated in the beginning, the whole time I was there with him, knowing him, I never saw his kids. So actually I lied. I said in the beginning I only saw him once. I lied. I saw him twice. Once his son came up and with his wife, because Mike's like, you know, I made my will, tell me what you want, and comes out, he wanted the truck that was in the back, and he wanted the antique guns and whatever, and I was sitting there, and I said, you take whatever you want out of the house, man, because I don't want any of this. He said, what? I said, look, dude, all I want is for him not to die, and since I know that that's an impossibility right now, I don't want his shit, so you can have whatever you want. And then I left and went home, and his wife and he are talking to Mike, saying what a gold digger I am, and you know, she's too young for you, and she has you paying all her bills and blah blah blah. And Mike's like, where the hell are you coming up with this? That girl has 3 fucking jobs. 3. She owns 2 homes, 2 motorcycles, and 3 vehicles. What the hell does she want from me? But they didn't care. Remember what I said in the beginning, people fill their heads with the bullshit they want to believe. But because they are that type of person, they assume everybody is, and I am not. So the second time I saw one of his children was the same guy, and I called him and I said, Michael, you need to come up because this is what's going on, and I don't know how much longer he's going to be here. So Michael came up and he hung out for a week, you know, here and there. Everything was good to go. We talked when I went up there, because once Michael was there, I didn't have to be there for all those 15 hours. But I explained to him everything that had been going on. And I'd been calling him on the phone and everything. So when the time comes and Mike passed away, I called Michael and I said, okay, now where you want all the guns and the truck? You had already told him you didn't want the truck, so he got rid of the truck. But you want the guns, all the guns are here. And he said, nope, I decided I didn't want anything from up there. Do with it what you will. I don't know what the situation is. I knew that I had heard that he wasn't such a nice guy before I met him. But I never knew that side of him. So I can't sit here and say he was a son of a bitch or whatever, because I don't know. Was he a stubborn ass? You bet. But he always treated me good. He asked me to marry him on several occasions. Not for the reasons that most people would think. He said it'd be easier if he were married to me, so that when he died, there would be no questions about who got what, because it would all come to me, and nobody would come and argue the point. Well, none of his children wanted anything to do with him. And I think Michael came because he felt obligated. Out of 4, he was the one that did come, so I give him the kudos on that. I don't know what people's situations are, and I've lived in homes where families never came. Or worked in homes where families never came. I've worked in nursing homes, not proper. I would go in for people and check on their family members, friends, whoever that were in there, because they didn't trust the facility. And nor should anybody, by the way. If you have to put somebody in a place like that, please make sure you're diligent. If you can't be there every day, make sure somebody's there every day. People are not treated well in those places. They're just not. So anyway, I've seen where families never come. And people are like, oh, isn't that shitty? The family never comes. And I said, you know what? I know where I came from. If people don't go to visit my mom when it's her time, you know, if she happens to go someplace, there's reasons why it would not happen. So I'm not in those people's shoes. I can't speak for anything like that. When you think it's sad that somebody's family's not coming, you don't know what that background is. And it could very well be that that older person is the one who cut the family off. It doesn't always have to be the kids cutting the adults off. So anyway, my opinion, they missed out on a lot, because I loved him. More than that, I liked him. A lot of us love people and we don't like them. Mike was a fun guy to be around. And it's been quite the ride trying to get over his not being here. He was gone 3 years, July 25th. He would have been 89 years old on July 27th. This past July. And I miss him. It's a shame that his kids didn't give him a chance. Again, I don't know what that background is. Do yourself a favor. Appreciate and validate everybody you care about every day. Make sure that they know you love them, because you never know when they're not going to be here. Right? Much love, everybody. Till next time. Have a great rest of your day.